I'm doing here is I'm taking you through my process with me. I don't limit myself to certain brushes or certain tools. I use whatever is the most effective for the effect I'm trying to achieve. In this case, I use my fingers a lot. When I do my clouds, my blending, a lot of times I do it this way. This is dry brushing. This is a dry canvas. I don't work well with oil and wet on wet environments. I mean, I do work with them, but I much prefer to do dry brushing techniques for my blends and for my fades and things like that. It's just a matter of personal preference. Some people work really well with wet on wet, and I just never did. First of all, my work pace is quick. I've always just been a fast painter. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Some people are very patient and they like the methodical process of doing it that way. I don't. I never have. I prefer acrylic. It dries quickly. It allows me to layer my work as I'm doing here. It allows me to put things over top of others. What I'm using now is an acrylic that has I've got some hardener in here. So it dries almost immediately. As soon as you put it on the canvas, it's dry. So I prefer that. And I'm experimenting with, this is going to be a steampunk hot air balloon, like a 19th century hot air balloon. And I'm experimenting with color. For my clouds, I want an earthial, a fantasy look to this. So I'm doing a lot of mixing of blues and browns, something that you don't see a whole lot of. I don't like to be conventional with my color. I like to do things a little bit differently. And I think this will achieve that. Like I mentioned, this is for the Tallahassee Balloon Festival in March. And hot air balloons are always so brightly colored and light and as beautiful as that is, and I've painted them that way. With this one, I wanted to go with something a little bit more dark isn't the right word. I guess it is, but I wanted to go with something a little darker. So this is going to have a lot of bronzes in it. The balloon itself is going to have a lot of bronze and brown colors. I like earth tones a lot. I like working with colors that are like that. And this is a perfect opportunity to do that. So Kelly and I both had the flu. I've been in bed since Wednesday. This is my first day out of bed since Wednesday. Kelly is out of bed today too. And I'm glad to have you with me. This is just going to give you a little bit of insight into my process. I love dry brushing. I love the effect that it creates. Clouds are some of my favorite things to paint. And this gives me a nice opportunity to add some color to an otherwise. I started with a medium gray, and I'm just building on that. Like I said, this is a color that I'm calling Toasted Marshmallow because that's what it looks like. It's like the color of a toasted marshmallow. Blue and brown are my absolute favorite color combinations. I think they're the most pleasing to the eye. Any variation of those colors, blues and browns, I think blending those together on a canvas is a really beautiful effect. So I'm learning more and more how to do it, because doing it correctly isn't easy. There are two colors that don't normally go together. I mean, I guess all colors go together, but when you're a colorist and you're working with like hot and cold colors, blue and brown don't naturally, strike you as something that would blend together. But when you do it correctly, it's so pleasing to the eye. It's almost a calming effect on me, I've noticed, and I just love the combination of blues and browns on a canvas. I think it's beautiful, and I enjoyed painting it. I enjoyed looking at it. And when it's, like I said, when it's done correctly, it really is a sharp contrast, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Look at those colors, how they blend together. So I'm like Bob Ross.